So we got a rather frantic call from the customer. They were very concerned about the condition of their vessel. The story was, we think that the cladding has failed. Hi, so I'm Iain Hall. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for IGS. There was an application in North America where amine was being used to capture CO2. Now CO2 is very different from H2S from a corrosion perspective. The corrosion mechanisms are different. Even the damage on the shell is different between CO2 and H2S. So there were some specific things we needed to do in this case to make sure the surface was in a good condition before we protected it with the thermal spray cladding. The reason that the customer chose HVTS as the preferred technology to restore the shell was because the complexities associated with welding were very tricky to manage, particularly the post-weld heat treatment. So HVTS was selected and we clad the column and it was put back into service. So another application under our belt and everybody was quite happy. About a year later, we got a rather frantic call from the customer. They were very concerned about the condition of their vessel. The story was, we think that the cladding has failed because we're measuring shell thickness outside the shell, and it looks like we've lost 3 or 4 millimeters of carbon steel. This was surprising to us because we've got a very good track record. We know that the system is very resilient in these process conditions. However, we had developed a technology where we could monitor the condition of the cladding inside the vessel even while the vessel was in service. So we thought this was an ideal opportunity to go on site and just make sure that everything was in good order. So we packed up our equipment. The next day we were on site. We went up to the vessel. We saw where the extensive grid on the side of the vessel was, where they'd marked out all the locations and they'd taken their UT readings. And we started to use our instrumentation and procedure to measure the internal cladding condition. And all the readings that we got indicated that the cladding was still there, it was healthy, and it was in good condition. We shared a lot of their results with their expert inspection technician and their head of inspection in the unit, and they looked at our calibration. They still couldn't reconcile why they were getting thin measurements on the shell. If the cladding was good, there was no reason why the shell should be thinner. There was something interesting in their data though. We saw that although they were showing shell loss in some areas, they were also showing increase in shell thickness in other areas. Now, corrosion can cause a shell to get thinner, but it can't cause a shell to get thicker. So we suspected that maybe something was wrong with their data set. So on the basis of a concern about their data set not being accurate and the strength of the inspection that we'd done, the decision was taken not to have the turnaround, to wait until the regular scheduled time in 3 months, and then they would take a look. So we pushed pause on the process. We waited 3 months. The turnaround came in and everybody was lined up outside the manway. As soon as the vessel was opened, it was safe for entry. We went inside, we crawled between the trays, and we looked at the shell, and we did direct thickness measurement from inside the vessel, and the cladding was in perfect condition. So this was an example of how IGS technology, not just from a vessel protection point of view, is successful, but we're also able to help a customer verify that the condition of the cladding was still intact even while his equipment was operating. So it was a good win and huge size of relief for everybody at the end of that day.